Coach, you talk about Wes kind of emerging and whatnot. Does that kind of open you up to a lot more 12 personnel going forward and everything? Obviously, Sage transitioning from the receiver to tight end last year, a lot of success, but kind of fell off in the back end of the season, in my opinion. With Wes not only having experience in the USFL, but a lot of these leagues in general, could we see that a lot of 12 personnel moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And you're right. Sage last year, we had to really use Sage a lot and probably had to overuse him a little bit because we didn't have another guy like Wes to jump in there and help him in certain situations. So I think Wes is going to help Sage to be a better player. And you're certainly going to see 12 personnel. We really like to be in that, particularly for play action passes and our run game. And there's a lot of different things you can do out of 12. So you'll definitely see those two on the field at the same time.
Coach, moving over to the offense, how much easier has it been to kind of rally this team around guys like Jared Thomas, Jaron Jones, Jordan McCray, even bringing in Darren Pollock back after his stint in the NFL, also being a USFL guy, and another guy like Terry Poole?
Yeah, great example. We were talking about that today on the field. We were running some plays where we were actually pulling some linemen and things like that. And our offensive line coach, Coach Turner, made the comment that I'm not sure we could have run some of these plays last year. But now the guys we have, even though we've gotten bigger in the offensive line than where we were in New Orleans last year, we're more athletic and run better. So, it's enabling us, again, to open up the playbook a little bit more and do some things where we can block down and pull people, whether it's a center, a guard, or a tackle. We've got them all pulling and making plays right now. It's kind of fun to coach those guys and watch them play.
So you're saying we could see a lot more GT stuff coming from y'all this year?
Yeah, I think definitely we can do a lot of things with the offensive line to get them out in space. We're not afraid for them to go out and be able to play in space a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, from a social media aspect, it looked like that Trey was a little disgruntled last year with his time towards the end. Was that a conversation you had to have with him as well? And was any of friction around Darius since they were on the team last year, or was it more with an organizational and staff level versus the running back room level?
Yeah, I haven't had that conversation with him. I know Coach Flip has talked with him when we signed those guys. We told all of them that, you're all three going to play. You're all three going to have roles. Everybody's going to compete, and that's what they've been doing. So there hasn't been any friction between those guys here. It's been really a great camp as far as guys bonding together, helping each other. They're out there coaching each other, and they'll all play. They'll all get their playing time.
Darius, thanks for doing this. Coming up on age 30 season right now, do you feel like the last couple of years playing in spring football has kind of extended your career a little bit, whether it be the less OTAs, less training camp, and less games to allow you to keep extending your career for a couple more years?
Yeah, definitely. I think that break in the short seasons, I always joke around with my teammates because I'm old now, and I'm like, you guys have no idea. I could be the Udonis Haslam of this league. I'll be playing till I'm 45. But I always joke around. No, it's pretty good though. Good season, short season, and then I get to get off my feet and recover. So it's good. I like it. I appreciate the opportunity, and it has extended my football life for sure. Because without this, I probably wouldn't be playing football anymore.
To piggyback off that, Darius, you crossed 1,000 yards rushing over your 3 seasons in the XFL and the last 2 in the USFL. When you were going through that period in your life after your time with the Cardinals and up in Hamilton and whatnot, did you ever think that you'd be able to still play football unless these leagues came around, if that makes sense?
I always thought that I had the ability to. Football's always been very easy for me. That's why it's so frustrating not being playing in the NFL, because I played there and I've done everything that I've been doing since I was 8 years old. So just being frustrated with being able to do everything that I've always been able to do, and someone telling me that I can't do it anymore, was always frustrating for me to grasp. But yeah, I've been very grateful for these leagues. Without these leagues, I wouldn't still be playing because I'm at the expense of someone else's opinion of me. So, and just grateful for the opportunity for these leagues to pop up and for me to show the world that I can still play football.
Thank you, Darius. Darius, to piggyback off what Tyler said about obviously you and Ty being FCS guys. How amazing is it to see not only FCS players succeeding in these spring leagues, but also getting major consideration of what some people would say are some of the best players at this level right now?
It just shows that it's not somewhere. It's not all about where you start. It's what you do with your opportunity and how you necessarily finish. But Ty myself, I've has been around, played a lot of guys from Hall of Fame guys to random guys on the street, and we've held our own every time. So it's just a great what am I looking for? It's just a great opportunity for guys from D1 AA or smaller schools to be seen and to be evaluated with other talents. Because some guys on my team are from Alabama and this that, and you're just proving that we could play with that type of talent. So it's good just to be notarized.
Do you feel with the new age of NIL and whatnot that you guys are unofficial ambassadors for the FCS right now?
Oh, absolutely. And I always think about it, and I'm like, wow, I wish I was born a little later with all this NIL stuff. I wouldn't have been a millionaire, but I would have had extra meals for sure. But yeah, it's good, man, just to show that you can find talent anywhere, not anywhere, not to say like FBS and FCS, too far off. But you can find talent in a lot of different places. So.
Coach, you talk about your practice schedule and whatnot. Are you guys breaking it down into periods? And compared to last year, did you have to go back to the drawing board because obviously camp's a little bit longer and whatnot?
No, yeah, we break it up by periods. We have blitz period every day, run, play, action, pass. Then we pick a special category of the day. Whether it be third down, high red, low red, 2 minute. We've been just getting a round robin of those situations. Today was a walkthrough day for our team, so we walked through last plays of the game, Hail Mary, those things, and we got one little small install next week, a couple more game situation things, and then we're pretty much done installation. And then let's clean it up this week and get into game week and be ready to go against Houston. The second part of your question, no,
Sorry.
didn't really go back to square one. For the first ramp up phase, the first really week to 10 days that we were here with the players, the league mandated, how long we were allowed to be on the field. So it was pretty standard for everybody. This past week, we did go 2 hours, padded practice last Monday and Tuesday, and then 90 minutes. And so we ramped it up this week. This week was training camp.
Coach Martin talked about earlier this week about the athleticism of the offensive line, kind of alluded to some more, GT stuff coming on the install and whatnot. How exciting for you was that to kind of open another phase of your playbook and whatnot, to be more athletic up front, despite, increase of size from what he said from last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just, with the condensed league, you're going to have better players in every spot. And we're way more athletic. We're bigger than we were last year at the last team I was at. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I mean, last year we struggled with some of the run schemes that we wanted to implement that we think are good, that are some misdirection and those things. And but this year we're able to do some of those things, and so, which is really, really exciting.
Coach, piggyback off of what John asked about the culture building and whatnot, with the essentially merging your team with the Showboats and whatnot from last year, was you have that many essentially alpha males in the room. Was there a little bit of ego checking or, coming together moments or anything like that? Or like you were talking about, were they all acting like adults the first time they met and whatnot?
Oh, everyone's been great, the adults, and I'm sure there's some playful banter because we had a lot of guys from a lot of different XFL teams, USFL teams. We're a little bit of the test case of the league. We're the melting pot league. We were really the only team that went out. I call it across party lines. And so we didn't care if you're XFL. We didn't care if you're USFL. I had to take my heart out of it. I don't care if you're a New Orleans Breaker. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality of pro football, and it's my job to make sure we get the best players that we think to be on this football team. And so, it's always playful banter, and I was talking the other day, about a play that I screwed up against the New Jersey Generals last year and almost cost us the game. And, Sage was joking with Vito later, says there's no way we were going to lose that game. So there's been some playful banter back and forth, but everybody's meshed together pretty quickly. Yeah.
follow-up, Coach. There's a quarterback you had in Philadelphia in 2017, Dane Evans. I know he recently retired from the CFL, but and he's coaching high school ball. But those practice schedules a little bit more lax compared to some of these other guys who transition to college coaching. Any even thought cross your mind about sending him a text message saying, "Hey, one last hurrah" type thing?
I love Dane. I love Dane. He's a great guy, fantastic guy, and right now I'm happy with our quarterback room. But I'd love to help him out in his coaching journey any way I can.
Thanks, Coach.